Come with me, we'll go and see a place called Jim's Transformers Reviews. Jim from Cybertronic Studios here. So today I got a new figure. I went to the Target and saw this and just had to get it because it's gonna fill a hole that I've been needing in my collection for a long time. It's a Generations figure. Guess? It's Generations Armada Starscream. Yes, this deluxe class bad boy finally fills the void on my Unicron Trilogy shelf, which has been really needing a Starscream. I count this as Unicron Trilogy because it's Armada. Shut up. So let's go ahead and get started, and we'll start with a quick look at the packaging. Whoa. And here he is in full packaged glory. He comes included with a packed-in comic book, as you can see in the back. That's the comic book art. Not the best comic book of art I've seen, but it does look nice. The details are nice. You can see the figure in there. You can see him in his mighty glory. You can see that he comes with his 2 Energon swords right there. Armada Starscream on the comic art. Hasbro exclusive cover, IDW. There's the figure. Orange light piping. You can see that's actually coming pretty well through the box. There's a picture of Result Mode. Thrilling 30! Armada Starscream Decepticon is 2 Energon swords. Okay. Comic book included. Transformers Generations. Woohoo. Level 2 transformation, according to the box. There's the bio. Pause it if you want to read it. Thrilling 30. Again, product shots of his Cybertronian jet mode, quote-unquote, and of his robot mode with the 2 Energon swords. There's tech specs if you want to read them. I think they're pretty accurate. Skywarp and Autobot Scoop. Series 211 on the side, Decepticon symbol. Nothing on this side except for hollowness. And that's pretty much the packaging. Now, let's go ahead and open them up. And here we are with jet mode. Starscream's jet mode is actually pretty nice. He's quite sleek, surprisingly kibbleless. I mean, sure, he's not the most aerodynamic thing, but he's one of the better jets we've ever seen. He's definitely not a movie one Voyager Starscream. It packs together quite nicely under there, in my opinion. I like the clear orange bits in the missile launcher kind of forming the illusion of thrusters. This Starscream, the colors and everything look a lot better in person. Let me tell you that. He looks a lot more show accurate and a lot less bland in person. It's not so red washed. His color palette here is nice, featuring red, black, and a little yellow accents in the thrusters and in the front there. There isn't really any kibble except for kind of the visible head in there, but hey, the orange matches kind of well with the red, so we'll forgive that. Can't tell those are his arms too right there, but hey. Not quite perfect though, because the cockpit to me seems like it's going a little bit at a downward angle from the rest. But other than that, pretty ballin' jet mode. Plus he has 3 pieces of fold down landing gear. They don't roll or anything, but still that's pretty neat. Yeah, that's pretty much the vehicle mode in a nutshell. I give it a solid A-. It's pretty awesome. Pretty cool. And really well representative of the Armada Starscream jet mode. Okay, now let's get on to robot mode. And here he is in his robot mode. Now there are 2 kind of configurations you can have this robot mode in. I'm going to tell you this now because I don't want to have to explain it later. There's this way, which is in the instructions, the official way to transform him, which is better for play because the thrusters are out of the way. Then there's this mode, which the package art shows and is actually accurate to the Armada cartoon and the pack-in comic he comes with. This configuration is a little better for show rather than play because the thrusters are kind of in the way, but you can kind of get the accurate look. Speaking of looks, let's go ahead into the looks of this guy. This guy is looking pretty nice. Trust me, he looks better in person than he does on this camera, probably. He looks accurate to Armada as well as the IDW comics, and his red and black and yellow color scheme show pretty well here. The paint in the chest is a little sloppy, but on his face is pretty good, and on the wings as well. Articulation for this guy is not bad. Not fantastic, but not bad. Now the arms are a little tricky because the wings get in the way. But then again, the wings are on ball joints, so you can move them out of the way, pose, and put back in, or however you wish to do so. The arms technically have, if the wings weren't there, 360 rotation at the arms, but the wings are there, so they can only have about, 270. A little over 90-degree bend at the elbow, which is pretty good. Midway up the shoulder, you have a swivel, and that goes 360 degrees. Due to transformation, the wrist can go in and out. but there's no swivel, which is kind of sad. The arms can go in and out of the shoulder, and this is where kind of the two modes comes in again, because with the thrusters there, the shoulders are a little more limited, but if you move the thrusters out of the way, you can move up quite a bit more. The head is on a ball joint and can go up pretty well. It can also go side to side, up and to the side, all that good jazz. It's a pretty dynamic ball joint. There are two problems with it though. The panel that the head is on flips up very easily and kind of messes things up. Second is when you have it in this configuration. The head is A, both hard to get to, and B, doesn't turn really at all. It turns like a little bit. If you try to flip the thrusters up, turn them, and put the thrusters back down, it'll just push the head back forward again. So that's kind of sad. 360 at the hips, ball joint, out and in, up and back, you know, all the good stuff. Got a thigh swivel, and you've got an amazing knee bend. You also have a little bit of ankle back and forward. And that's pretty much it for articulation. Not bad articulation. I've seen worse, but I've also seen better. Orion packs! Now let's get into weapons. This guy comes with 4 weapons total. You have the dual missile launchers here on the front, which you activate by pushing these. I'll show you. Hopefully I won't lose the missile. And they've just lost the missile. Found it. It's not spring loaded, it's pressure loaded, so you just push and it'll shoot, and it shoots pretty well. The problem with it is the big kibble that it makes. Second set of weapons. These are 2 weapons that he comes with as well, and they are his Energon swords. Hiya! They store right there on back of the wing. You fold them out, and there's a sword. There is a problem with these as well, but it's a lot more of a minor problem. When you store them, you fold them in, and this one tabs in fine. This one, however, it won't really tab in at all. I can see kind of stress marks appearing in the hole for the tab, and that's kind of worrying me a bit. Again, clear plastic. But then again, who cares, because these swords are pretty dope. You can have him dual wielding, you can have him single wielding. And there are some people that are kind of upset that the wings don't come off and make the swords, but really, I don't really like that look. But if you want to replicate the look from the show, all you have to do is take the shoulder wing and move it down on the ball joint. That way he has a sword out, is missing a wing, and he looks like he does in the show when he's holding a sword. Ah! You can do the same thing with both ends and make him a wingless Starscream. It's up to you. I think that the wings, especially, how they can move around, help save the robot mode from being kind of mediocre. He looks good, yes, the articulation is great, yes, the swords are awesome, yes, the missile launchers work well, yes, but back kibble, no waist articulation, which is kind of sad, but then again, they wouldn't have really been able to work it in there. The head articulation is hindered, plus the cockpit doesn't really tab in. It's held in there well by the joint. You might have problems with that. Plus, from the back, if you have the launchers up, he looks kind of thin and spindly right there. Then again, if you move the launchers down, he looks more filled out. Plus, that looks kind of like a jetpack with the transparent orange bits. Overall, Starscream is a good Starscream. Not the best Starscream. There are better Starscreams. There are better figures. But if you love Starscream, and if you really enjoy the Unicron trilogy, which I do because I was raised on it, then this is a figure that you should probably pick up, because he fills a nostalgia worm, and he's a pretty good deluxe class figure. So I'm gonna give him a B. Not perfect. Nowhere near perfect. But good enough to have fun with, and plenty good enough to fill that void on my Unicron trilogy shelf of a Starscream. Yes, thank you so much for watching. This has been my review of the Armada Starscream. If you're a fan of Starscream, if you're a fan of Armada, pick one up. Definitely. Definitely worth the price. Anyway, this has been Jim from Cybertronic Studios. I will see you on April 6th for a little surprise.